And Auston Matthews has been phenomenal this season. The last time we talked on this show, he was 9-1 to win the Hart Trophy. There was like 3 or 4 guys ahead of him on the betting board. But as of right now, to win the Hart Trophy, Connor McDavid is still number 1, but Auston Matthews has gone from 9-1 to plus 375 to win the Hart. He is the second favorite. As we all know, last season, Connor McDavid led the league in scoring by 21 points. You know, there was no one else you were giving the Hart Trophy to. Auston Matthews right now, there's been some buzz, and, you know, you can call it a hot take if you want. There's some people out there, and I'll see how Lepore feels about this, calling Auston Matthews right now the best player in the world. Is that a hot take, or is this facts right now, Lepore? Is Auston Matthews the best player in the world right now?
Okay, that's exactly how I was going to address the question. Even only a few short months ago, I think, had anyone said, you can go back a few years, you can go back a few months. Had anyone said that Connor McDavid was not the best player in the league and said any name, that's a hot take.
Yeah,
that was a hot
an idiot. You don't watch.
Oh, that would have been a crazy hot take. The way Matthews has played this season, and especially lately, the way he's scoring, the way he's dominated games, the way he's kind of transformed himself into a true 200-foot player. I'm not going to sit here and say that Auston Matthews is better than Connor McDavid. They're both crazy elite generational players who are very different. But I will say, I don't think it's any longer a hot take. If you ask someone if you were GM for a day of wherever your franchise was and you can make a trade for either Connor McDavid or Auston Matthews, if the person said Auston Matthews, I wouldn't yell at them. I'd say, he's a pretty fucking good player, is what I would say. And he was shit tonight. So ironic we're talking about this, but I guess all the Leafs were shit tonight. Maybe we'll let him off the hook, but it's fantastic, man. Fantastic. And if anyone was wondering why we such a gap in between shows, is because your boy Michael Lepore was on vacation in Florida. While in Florida, I attended a Florida Panthers game. Always a different experience attending a Florida Panthers game because, you know, the culture of the crowd, it is Florida. The crowd was decent, though, I will say. And they're a good team now. And I saw a game against the Edmonton Oilers. So I got to see McDavid and Draisaitl live in the flesh. They're fucking good, man. Man, they are fucking good. Every time they enter the zone, they are a threat. And Draisaitl reminds me of, like, in soccer when there's a number 9, they call it, like, that center forward who just, he doesn't really do anything that jumps out, but he always just seems to score. To me, like, that's Draisaitl. And, like, he's physically gifted. He's got, like, a great build to him, and he's strong on the puck. But unbelievable player. And McDavid just comes flying in the zone all the time at 100 miles an hour. I don't even know what the hell defensemen are thinking when he's skating in on them. But all that being said, Auston Matthews looks great, man. So have the debate. I'll say that. Before it wasn't a debate, have the debate. The way I kind of see it is, and like the times in the careers are different, is when I'm sure Wayne Gretzky was Gretzky. And I'm sure there was a point where Lemieux was creeping up in that scoring race. There was a year he got 199 points where, like, it went from, like, Wayne Gretzky is the greatest player. If you don't think that, you're an idiot. To, you can argue for Mario Lemieux. There's a take for Mario Lemieux. And I think that's kind of where we're at with it now. You're not a dummy if you think Auston Matthews is a better player than Connor McDavid.
Yeah, you're not crazy at all, specifically right now in this moment in 2022, if you think right now that Auston Matthews is the best player in the world, because on both sides of the puck, this guy's been an absolute monster. And my big thing with Matthews is that I know this season specifically, he's getting a lot of Selke Trophy buzz for his two-way play. But one thing that I've always noticed about Matthews, and this is going back 3-4 years, I think people have totally slept on his ability to play defense and just his commitment to play a 200-foot game. How many times have you seen this dude go into a corner or come out of nowhere and lift a guy's stick and steal the puck? He's not been doing this just this season. And I know, in that Minnesota game, he completely took over and he stole the puck for, I forgot who it was on Minnesota, steals the puck at the blue line, comes in, give and go, scores the goal. He was the reason they beat Minnesota. I believe it was 3-1 on home ice. But I've been watching this guy, even throughout the Babcock era, the things he is able to do. Whereas, you look at a guy like Mitch Marner, and he's a magician in his own way with his ability to make plays and set guys up and see things, 2-3 seconds before everybody else. Matthews obviously is the best goal scorer in the world, but I think that he's an absolute magician in his own way when it comes to coming out of nowhere and just taking the puck off of you and making a play where he's lifting even tonight against Buffalo, there was a play where the puck was centered in front of the net and he just came out of nowhere and lifted the guy's stick right in the slot to deny a scoring chance. It was like 5 minutes into the game. But that's always been my thing with Matthews, is that I don't think he's gotten the proper love for how good he is defensively. And I think this season you're finally seeing it. Again, he wasn't like, Patrice Bergeron defensively for the last 4 or 5 seasons. I'm not going to go that far, but this is a guy who I think has been really good on the defensive side of the puck for a lot longer than people realize. And I think just now you're seeing how good he is because, like I said, he's getting all this Selke Trophy buzz. He's on pace to score 60 goals again. He's on pace to have his greatest season from a point producing perspective. So right now, man, it's really not a hot take at all. This dude is unbelievable every night, every time he's on the ice, except tonight. Everyone was shit against the Buffalo Sabres. He's making things happen and he's doing things that honestly only a handful of guys in the world are capable of doing. So right now, again, I still think Connor McDavid is a better player. Yeah. Like, I just think he's more explosive. He's probably the greatest skater with the puck I've ever seen. He does things at the speed of light, an unbelievable playmaker. They're different players in their own way, but Auston Matthews, it's really hard to deny just how amazing he is. And honestly, right now, I think he should be the front runner to win the Hart Trophy this season, even though he's second on the betting board.
There you go. So you're laying the bet then at plus 375.
I mean, the bet was 9-1 a couple of weeks ago when we brought it up. I'd still probably bet on him at plus 375 because I think he should be the favorite at this point, considering where the Leafs are right now, despite how awful the goaltending has been. And when you look at Edmonton, that team is barely holding on to a playoff spot. They just moved into a playoff spot with their win the other night. I can't remember who they beat the other night, but they were out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, they beat Philly.
Until they beat Philly. They shut them out, didn't they?
Yeah, and Koskinen on fire. He was on that Florida game I was at. Oh my God. Edmonton had no business winning that game. Koskinen, who we shit on this podcast all the time, was incredible. Unbelievable. Probably his best performance of his career. But yeah, like I'm with you with the McDavid thing. The thing I always say is like, hey, well, what makes a player good? With McDavid, it's his speed. So if McDavid's having an off night, he's still fast. And that's why I would say that speed in any sport is the most deadly weapon for that reason, because you have off nights. Everyone has off nights. But if you're fast and you're having an off night, you're still fast. And that's not to say that, I mean, Auston Matthews in his off nights is terrible and nothing's happening for him, because his talent's to a level where he's always at least semi-dangerous. But like you said, you use the right word with McDavid, calling him explosive, which just makes him so dangerous every time he enters the zone. So, and even too, like, here I'm going to like shit on Leafs fans a bit. A lot of Leafs fans are quick to point out 5-on-5 production, kind of like Matthews, Marner versus Draisaitl, McDavid. Does it matter? How much does it really matter? I mean, if a guy is like a power play magician, I mean, there's still goals, there's still points. And like, I'd be the first one to say that, yeah, 5-on-5 is more valuable. But at the end of the day, should we just be looking at like the total contribution, or do you think the 5-on-5 thing really is that significant?
Yeah, because that's the thing with McDavid and Draisaitl is that a lot of people say, oh, they get so many points on the power play. It's almost like people dock them for how dominant they are on the power play. And listen, I get it. I think it is more valuable to be better at 5-on-5. It just is. But we shouldn't be docking points, so to speak, when it comes to McDavid and Draisaitl because they're so dominant on the power play. I don't think we could say, well, they get 38% of their points on the power play, whereas Matthews and Marner only get 24% of their points on the power play, meaning that Matthews and Marner are better because they're better at 5-on-5. So I don't think we can go that far because McDavid and Draisaitl, it's like you said, they're getting points no matter what, whether it's on the power play 5-on-5. And if they're going to be that much better than everybody else on the power play, then, you know, you just tip your hat to them because when that Oilers power play is buzzing, and I know the Leafs have the number one power play in the league right now, but when that Oilers power play is buzzing, and I've also watched them live in Edmonton, which we talked about, about a couple months ago, man, they are dangerous as hell on the power play. Like, it's scary, honestly. You think at any moment McDavid can make a cross ice or a backdoor pass to Draisaitl and the puck's going in the net. So I think it's hard to pick. McDavid, Draisaitl, Matthews, Marner. I mean, I think a lot of people would probably say, you guys are idiots, you're homers. Of course, it's McDavid and Draisaitl, but I really do think it's a lot closer than people think. I just think the one thing that puts those two guys over the edge from an offensive standpoint, at least, is their power play production. And this season, you're seeing Matthews having a career year when it comes to points, and even Marner for that matter, because the Leafs have been so good on the power play.
Yeah.
It's almost, and I've been saying this for the last couple of years. It's like, just wait until Matthews actually scores more power play goals than like league average, because this dude's going to score like 65 goals the year that happens. And we saw it last season, and we're seeing it this season where he's on pace for 60 again, because those power play numbers are ticking up a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure you saw that thing going around. If I'm not mistaken, Bunting has as many as many 5-on-5 goals and points as Draisaitl and McDavid. So Leafs fans just ripping into it, eh? Just like, yeah, the great scoring race between the Leafs players and the Oilers players, and you look at it and it's Bunting versus McDavid and Draisaitl.
Hilarious.
Yeah, but again, that kind of shows it. It's like, yeah, everyone, Bunting's better than McDavid. Come on, like Leafs fans, right?
Oh, we can go all day comparing players on the Leafs and Oilers, comparing the teams, who's going to win the next playoff series first. We should actually dedicate an entire podcast to that, because you know how much I love talking about the Edmonton Oilers.
Who's going to win a Stanley Cup first?
There you go. Get those entries in for the Funko Pop contest giveaway.